Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam, and as some of you may know, I am a licensed hairstylist. I've been doing hair professionally for about a year and a half now, but long before I ever went to cosmetology school, I taught myself how to do hair at home, and I did a lot of YouTube videos teaching other people how to do their hair at home. So today I am going to react to one of my hair tutorials from before I ever went to beauty school. I think this one was from like 2013, I wanna say. So like one of my first videos ever on my channel. So the video that we are gonna be looking at today is how I dyed my dark hair red without bleach. L'Oreal High Color Highlights in magenta in HD. This was the first ever hair dyeing tutorial I posted on my channel, and I have quite a few now, but this was the first one, and this was actually the first video that I ever recorded with my DSLR camera, the exact same one that I use to this very day. I just got it, and it was like right at the beginning when I first started my channel. I'm so excited. I posted this video on March 18th, 2013, so a little over exactly 6 years ago. So crazy. And this video blew up. It has 1.3 million views. Even to this day, it's one of my most viewed videos on my channel, which is pretty awesome. Guys, so as you can see, my hair is bright red. Those of you who are following me on Instagram, this should be no surprise to you. If you're not, first of all, we just have to talk about my voice. Like, you can tell that I was new to the YouTube game because I'm so shy and timid, and I'm like talking kind of quiet. My parents were probably also home at the time, and I don't know if they knew I was doing YouTube yet, so I was probably scared they were gonna hear me talking to myself in my room. And also, can we acknowledge the janky ass, like messed up dresser in the background? Like, what is that? And those purple walls, and my eyebrows, and the eyeliner, like everything that's going on here. I looked pretty skinny though. But yeah, I was almost 21 in this video, so 20 years old. If you're already a subscriber to me or you know me in real life, then you know that my hair was a really dark brown color, almost black in some parts. But I was able to get it this color, and I did not have to pre-bleach it or do anything crazy like that. I just used one product. So I'm gonna show you what I did, what I used, how I did it, and explain all of that. At least there's a disclaimer right at the beginning. Is the L'Oreal High Color Highlights for dark hair only. I used the color magenta and the color red. Then I also used a bottle of 30 volume developer, a mixing bowl like this one, and this one's really cool because it has measurements on the inside, and then this little brush. The music, I know that I'm supposed to be critiquing like what I'm doing in the video, but I just have to like all these little technical details, like the music that's in the background, first of all, like unnecessary, a little too loud. And also, I am very lucky. I don't even know what song that is that I use, but I am so lucky that I didn't get demonetized or get like a copyright claim for that music. Wow. If you don't already know, I do wear hair extensions, so I'm going to show you how I dyed my real hair, and then how I dyed my extensions. My real hair and the extensions are like not the same color. So my real hair was dyed a really dark brown color. I did have to use the L'Oreal High Color Highlights twice to lift the really dark color out of my hair to make it bright red. Then I mixed my color. I took my mixing bowl and I took one box of my magenta color, squeezed it in there, and then I mixed a 1:2 ratio with my 30 volume developer. I sectioned my hair off into 4 sections, 2 in the front and then 2 in the back, just to make it a little bit easier like a line where my hair's grown out, and I just have like layers and layers and layers of the dark color. You see that's a little bit lighter towards the top. Whew. And I just applied it. I did not put it on my roots at first. I just started where my hair was really dark. You'd be able to see that my roots were all new growth, so it was like a light brown color, and then there was sort of like a line where my color started, and then it was just really dark. So I just focused the color mostly on those parts, applied it all over, and then I put a plastic bag over my head to keep the heat in. I don't know why the sound keeps like going in and out. I waited with that for about 20 or 25 minutes, And then I went through and I put the color on my roots, and I left that on for only about 5 or 10 minutes. I knew that since my roots were regrowth that I was going to take to the color very, very quickly. See, I knew what I was doing. I was about to say, like, damn, I had a lot of color in my hair, but I only applied the color where my hair was dark and where I had like previous color, and I waited to put it on my roots at the end. I will say though, looking at my hair in the clips, like, it didn't really look like the ends changed color very much, so I probably should have just like left that on longer or just rinsed it out and did like a second round and not even did the roots at all until I like lifted the ends a little bit more. So I didn't want my roots to be like really, really bright and crazy and then have the rest of my hair be dark. So if I had just applied that color from roots to ends right away, the very top, because A, it was virgin hair, so it didn't have color already in there, and B, your scalp radiates heat, so it just makes the color process faster. So my roots would have been like a bright ass red, and then the ends would have just still been dark, and I would have looked crazy. So I knew what I was doing back then. Look at me. That. I waited, I think in total I had the color on my hair for 30 or 35 minutes. Then I just rinsed it all out. I didn't use shampoo or conditioner or anything. I could have left it longer than that. I just washed it out. I made sure that I used very cold water because warm water strips red faster, and I obviously didn't want it to all wash out. So yeah, I just used really cold water. That is true too. Hot water will rinse your color out faster, like opens up the cuticle, and so like that color can come out more. And red artificial color is actually more difficult to keep in your hair because the actual color molecules themselves are just bigger, so they don't really like go in as deep into the hair. They just kind of like run out. So if you've ever had bright red hair, you know that like every time you get that shit wet, the color just runs. So yeah, rinsing it in cool water is a good idea. Then you want to make sure after you rinse it out that you use either a red towel or just an old towel that you don't really care about, because your hair will bleed a little bit. Not bad. So I just did that. I put some hair oil in it. I let it air dry. Went to bed. Next morning I dyed it the second time. I basically did the exact same thing. I used another bottle of the magenta color. This time I didn't put it on my roots at all. I only put it on areas that still were a little bit dark, but I mostly just focused it on the shaft and the ends of my hair. I left that on for, again, 30 or 35 minutes, rinsed it out with cold water once again, and it ended up lightening all of the dark areas, and it was all a really nice, vibrant magenta color. Ooh, yes, girl. It's so funny because at the time I used to think my hair was so short, and now I have extensions. My real hair is like right above my shoulders, and all I want is for my hair to be the length that it was in this video. For my extensions, I decided to buy a new pair of extensions at Sally's. I bought ones that were sort of a light chestnut brown color. I mixed probably like a 2/3 ratio of magenta and then a 1/3 red. Those hair extensions are a light enough color that I could have just did like a direct deposit. So like Manic Panic or something, like a color that you don't have to mix it with developer. Like you just apply it right on there. It's just like a direct dye that just like stains the hair. That wouldn't work on dark hair, but if the hair's already pre-lightened, and with red, the hair doesn't have to be like super, super light for it to take. Like even the color I have in my extensions, like a light brown, dark blonde would take fine. So I didn't need to use the high lift on the extensions because I think they ended up coming out a little bit too bright for the rest of my hair, but whatever. It was also like a little bit of extra damage. Like a direct dye doesn't do any damage to the hair. A high lift, because you're using like a higher volume developer, can cause a little bit of damage. You see that I'm doing this on top of a upside down laundry basket? Once I was done painting the color on all of them, I just wrapped them up in the foil, again to kind of keep the heat contained. And then I only left that on for about 15 or 20 minutes. Because the hair was a lighter color, I didn't want it to be so bright and not match my real hair at all. So yeah, and then once those were done processing, once again, I just rinsed them in really cold water. And that was basically it. So if you're wondering, no, my hair is not damaged. My extensions are definitely not damaged at all. They're ridiculously soft. My hair itself was already pretty damaged before I made it red, but it's nowhere near as bad as if I would have pre-bleached it. Okay, so my thoughts on that tutorial. I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, you can definitely see that it looks a little bit uneven. Like there's some parts where it's a little bit of a brighter red and some parts where it's dark. That's also because I have the extensions clipped in, but also because I had previous color in my hair. Like you saw that line where the ends were like really dark. But I think considering that, like I did a pretty good job. I knew not to apply it to the roots right away, and I didn't apply it to the roots at all the second round. And I like the L'Oreal High Color Highlights. Other hairstylists might be like, oh my God, how dare you say that? But I feel like it works really well. And I mean, if I were to do a bright red now as a professional, I probably wouldn't use that. Like I would use lightener or bleach. Like I would pre-lighten the hair and then put red on top, because like I said before, you don't really need to get the hair super, super light in order to get like a pretty nice vibrant red. And back in the day, I was like terrified of using bleach. I thought that bleach would like totally destroy your hair, which isn't necessarily true. Like if you know what you're doing and you're doing it the right way, it doesn't have to destroy your hair. You can bleach your hair and it still be really nice and healthy. But if you're doing it at home and you're not a professional and you don't really know what you're doing, it's probably a good idea to try to avoid the bleach, especially if you're trying to do like a blonde color, because if you don't really understand how toners work and what level your hair's at and what you should use on it, that can get very tricky and messy. So I think a high lift color is a great idea. Like if you want to lighten your hair yourself at home and you don't really know what you're doing, a high lift color can be great. It's just a slightly stronger hair color that you mix with a higher volume developer, and it lifts the hair but also tones and deposits color at the same time. So it's like a 2-in-1 kind of thing. And it is gentler than bleach. However, high lift colors are very high in ammonia, which actually can cause damage, and it can dry your hair out quite a bit. So if you like really, really overdo it with the high lift color, you can cause damage to your hair. I mean, you can damage your hair even just being out in the sun too much. So it's not completely a foolproof, damage-proof way to go, but I think it's definitely more beginner friendly. But overall, I think that was a pretty good tutorial. I mean, my voice was like so low and timid, but I think the steps I did were great, and I would still recommend that tutorial to people today. That's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down below, and let me know if you want to react to more of my old videos, because like I said, I have quite a few hair tutorials on my channel. If you made it this far into the video and you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would take a second to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.